talking about history and booze, I thought it would be an appropriate day to show you guys my whiskey brisket. So, in the sauce for the slow-cooked brisket, we're going to use a couple of shots of good quality whiskey, but it starts with making a flavorful rub for the brisket. And what I love about brisket is it's a slow-cooked meal, so you just put it in the oven and forget about it. Cooks for hours. The house smells great when it's done. And you can really make it a million different ways, but it's always going to be foolproof. Brisket is always tender, delicious. You cook it till it falls apart, so you really can't screw it up. Leftovers are delicious the next day as hash in the morning, or they freeze beautifully. So you might want to even make 2 briskets at the same time in 2 pots and have several nights' meals to play with. I also like to take the leftovers of the brisket, shred it up, and turn it into a base for a pasta sauce and toss it with pasta a few nights later. Delicious. So anyway, we start with the rub. I have a 3.5 to 4 pound piece of brisket. Ask them to trim it up for you so it's not too fatty. 2 little bowl here. I've added 1 tablespoon or a palmful of dry mustard. I'm adding 1 tablespoon or a palmful of smoked paprika. I'm adding 1 teaspoon each of celery seed, granulated garlic, granulated onion. This becomes the flavor rub for the brisket. My favorite brisket, guys, though, if you guys have the burger book, I did a whole book of burger. There's more than just burgers in there. My husband's favorite brisket takes a lot longer than this. It's a 7-hour slow smoked brisket. That's in there too. So if you're a fan of brisket, you might want to check that one out as well. This one, we start with a little salt and pepper. Flip it over, season up the flip side. I've got the oven getting hot to 325. You can also cook it right on the stovetop over a low, gentle simmer as well. It's going to cook for about 4 hours. Then you put half of your rub on each side of the meat. I have a Dutch oven getting nice and hot with a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil in it. Once you get the meat rubbed, get it down in fat side down and let that brown up really well on all the sides. This is going to slow cook in the oven at 325, low and slow for 4 hours. About a half hour before you want to serve, you're going to make up your whiskey sauce. I'll show you to make the whiskey sauce right after that.
Losing weight clicked for me when I found a plan that was a
The following segment is brought to you by Bounty.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're making a slow-cooked whiskey brisket. That sounds like so much fun, whiskey brisket. So don't forget to brown the sides of the brisket as well. Once the brisket has been browned all over, we've got all that flavorful rub already on the brisket. You're just going to add a couple of cups of beef stock. About 2 cups. And you're going to pop a lid on it. And again, you can leave it on the stovetop at a very low simmer, or you can pop it into a 325 oven, and it's going to cook low and slow. I'm going to open the oven, because I won't be able to once I have the pot in my hand. Low and slow for about 4 hours or until it literally falls apart when you pull at it with the tines of a fork. That's a heavy baby. Get him in there. See ya. Now, when dinner is about half hour from being done, you can throw together your whiskey sauce. In the pot already, you turn this burner up and move him over. In the pot already, I have 1 cup of organic ketchup or low sugar ketchup, because you're going to add other flavors to it. Buy good quality ketchup. And I've got 1 cup of it sitting down. To that, I'm going to add half a cup of tomato puree, or this is tomato passata. Passata is sometimes made from fresh tomatoes, and it's just Italian puree tomatoes. So I got about a half a cup of that to 1 cup of ketchup. Then I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count to 4 slowly. That'll be 4 tablespoons or about a quarter of a cup. To that, we're going to add 3 shots of bourbon whiskey. If you want to take one for yourself. 1 2-count of apple cider vinegar. And 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. To that, we're going to add in a palmful or about a tablespoon of chili powder. To marry it back to the flavor in the rub, I'm going to add some celery seed, about a teaspoon or a third of a palmful. 1 small rib of celery, finely chopped. Lots of coarse black pepper. And then I'm going to grate in a little onion. Whoops. Part of him fell out and in there. Yeah, I'll get you later, buddy. So a little grated onion. And I grate it right over the pot so the juice from the grated onion goes down into the sauce. Then I'm going to throw in a couple of large cloves of garlic. Yeah, I'm a garlic and onion girl too. I really am. Put it in anything. Say it all the time. Could never have married a man that doesn't love garlic because I smell like a salami. Then you just give this a stir and let this cook for about a half an hour until it thickens up and the flavor develops. Oh, I also add a little bit of beef stock just to give it a place to go to cook out to. Just a little splash. And again, you just cook it all, you throw it in one pot, you cook it all in there for about 30 minutes, and that's it. Then we're going to shred the brisket, add our whiskey sauce, combine that, and you serve it on toasted rolls or over polenta or grits. I mean, it's just delicious. I love this dish. And again, freezes beautifully. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll marry the whiskey sauce to the brisket. For about 4 hours, it literally falls apart, and it doesn't take much effort at all. You just take 2 forks and shred it apart. I know, it's delicious. And it's cooked down in that beef stock, and it's rendered out its own natural juices. So it's already nice and saucy. If you make 2 briskets, as I said, it freezes beautifully. If you make 2 briskets, you might want to leave half plain, just in the natural juices and that little bit of rub that we put on it, and use that for another night's meal. I like to take some of the pulled brisket and make a nice tomato sauce with it, drop the brisket in and toss it with pappardelle or rigatoni. If you make the whiskey brisket all the way or make a double batch, it's delicious on a weekend brunch as a hash. Add some chopped potatoes, boil them, then brown them. Mix in your leftover whiskey brisket and top it with an over easy or over medium egg. So delicious as well. And if you guys love to tailgate or you go to a lot of potlucks, this dish, the longer it sets, the better it gets. It's amazing. So I strongly recommend making a double batch. We started with a 3 to 4 pound brisket, nicely trimmed, nice, not too lean, a little bit of fat, but not too much. And then we made a nice rub. The flavors in the rub, well, we had the dry mustard, so it's a little spicy, paprika, or you can use smoked paprika if you want it to be a little smokier in flavor. Then we had the celery seed in there. That makes it a little brighter. And it's just basic, you know, kosher salt. Kosher salt gets a nice crust on meat, lots of black pepper. Rub that meat down, brown it up, slow cook it. Then comes the whiskey sauce. 3 shots of bourbon whiskey. I know. 3 shots of whiskey, ketchup, the tomato passata or puree, Worcestershire sauce, vinegar, a little bit of sugar, minced celery, grated onion, and garlic and black pepper. That cooks till it thickens up. And then I go back to the tongs, and you just marry the sauce with the pulled beef. Oh, God, this smells good. Delicious. Okay. Now, if you're going to serve it up as a sandwich, which is how we like to eat it in our house, grate up a little sharp cheese. You can go with a super sharp cheddar, like I have here, or we've even had it with crumbled blue cheese. Oh, so good. All right, so we have our cute little toasted brioche rolls. I like the brioche because it's eggy and light.
Cool.
But you know, whatever roll you like. Onion rolls are delicious for this too. Pile the brisket up on there.
Okay.
It's crazy. Top it with your cheddar or blue cheese. And then I like to garnish it with bread and butter pickles. And if you guys go online,
no, I
I
didn't,
love to
but
make
I'll
my own
look,
pickles.
and
And you
I'll
can
let
make
you
a quick
know.
pickle. Just do this a day before. Just overnight is all you need for that pickle to have great flavor. It's just sliced cucumber, celery, onion, dill, parsley, fresh bay, and then I flavor the brine up, which is sugar dissolved into cider vinegar and water with yellow mustard seed, coriander seed, a little turmeric for the color of bread and butter pickles, and a little of the celery seed. It is so easy to make your own pickles. I'm a little obsessed with it. You don't have to. You can buy store-bought bread and butter pickles. I'm sure they'll be delicious. But if you are as obsessed with pickles as I am, you might want to try this because it's very simple.
I'll check it out.
Then you put... You grab a fork. I am so embarrassed because we just moved in here. It's a brand new home, and every time I say I'm going to grab a fork, I have to open 4 drawers to find a fork. I cannot get in my head where anything is here because the drawers are all new.
Enjoy it, man.
I look like a
Okay,
loser.
see ya.
Anyway,
Love you, bye.
I found the fork,
Bye.
so I'm going to pile up the bread and butter pickles on top of the cheese and the brisket. Now that is a sandwich, my friends. Yeah. Now, huge thank you. We are so proud here at our show to be the future home of Reach every couple of weeks. We are so proud to have Regis Philbin back with us at our kitchen table. Thank you so much, Regis. Thank you to Micro, although I made the cocktails. And I hope you try this brisket. You're going to love it. See you when we see you guys. Bye-bye.